The job market's brutal truth, settling for less, might be your smartest career move. According to a recent Wall Street Journal article published on Monday, the 15th of September 2025, by Harriet Torrey. A recent Wall Street Journal article titled "Workers Settle for Less as Job Market Cools" perfectly captures the current economic climate. After the fever pitch of the Great Resignation, where employees held unprecedented leverage, the pendulum is swinging back. We're seeing a deliberate slowdown, with fewer job openings per applicant and wage growth that's struggling to keep up. This shift in power from employee back to employer is creating a ripple effect across industries. As a result, more professionals are finding themselves in a tough position, accepting positions that feel like a compromise. This isn't just about a number on a contract, it's about tangible, everyday impacts. They're taking on roles with lower salaries, which, when you factor in persistent inflation, amounts to a significant cut in real-world purchasing power. They're agreeing to fewer benefits, watching as generous healthcare plans, robust retirement matching, and the hard-won flexibility of remote work are scaled back or eliminated entirely. And perhaps most concerningly, they're stepping into roles with limited growth potential, finding themselves on a career path that feels more like a cul-de-sac than a highway, with dwindling budgets for training and development. This environment can be incredibly taxing. The relentless cycle of applying, interviewing and facing rejection breeds a unique kind of fatigue. The pressure mounts as savings dwindle, and the fear of prolonged unemployment can become overwhelming, pushing many to take the first offer that comes along simply for the sake of security. But this is the critical juncture, the crossroads where you must ask yourself a vital question. Is this move a resignation to a harsh reality, a decision made from a place of fear? Or could it be a deliberate strategic pivot in your long-term career journey? Settling out of desperation often leads to disengagement, burnout, and the feeling of being trapped in a role that stifles your potential. It's a short-term solution that can create a long-term career deficit. Let's analyze what settling with intention actually means in today's context. It's about consciously deciding to play career chess instead of checkers. In checkers, you react. You take the obvious, immediate jump. It's a game of tactics, not strategy. That's the equivalent of grabbing any job to escape the uncertainty of the market. But in chess, you anticipate. You see the entire board, understanding that every piece has a purpose and every move sets up future possibilities. Sometimes, a strategic player will sacrifice a pawn, perhaps by accepting a lateral move or a modest salary, to gain a superior position, unlock a new skill, or enter a more promising industry. It's not about abandoning your career aspirations, but about navigating the current landscape with foresight and intelligence, turning a challenging market into a launchpad for your next big move. The WSJ article points out that when employers gain leverage, workers lose negotiating power. This isn't a new phenomenon, it's a historical pattern we've seen repeat through economic cycles since the Industrial Revolution. Think of the stagflation of the 70s, the dot-com bust of the early 2000s, and the 2008 financial crisis. Each cycle is driven by unique forces, technology, globalization, public policy, but the underlying dynamic of labor supply and demand remains a constant. Today, that dynamic has shifted firmly in favor of employers, creating a challenging landscape for even the most qualified professionals, forcing them to adapt their strategies for career advancement and security. The impact on today's workforce is rather profound, extending far beyond the negotiation table. Many professionals report increased anxiety. This isn't just the normal stress of a job hunt, it's a deeper, more pervasive job search fatigue. It's the exhaustion from the endless cycle of tailoring resumes, writing cover letters and navigating automated application systems, often with little to no human feedback. This sustained pressure takes a significant toll on mental health, creating a constant feeling of uncertainty that can be draining and demoralizing for individuals and their families. The data paints a stark picture of this new reality. A 2024 LinkedIn survey revealed a startling statistic, with 68% of job seekers admitting to accepting positions below their qualification level. Let's unpack what that means. This is a seasoned director taking a manager role, or a specialist accepting a generalist position. This trend of underemployment has severe long-term consequences. It isn't just about smaller paychecks in the short term. A lower starting salary becomes the new lower baseline for all future raises and bonuses. Over a decade, the compounding effect can mean tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost lifetime earnings. Beyond the financial hit, it affects your career trajectory. Taking a step back can slow your momentum, risk skill atrophy if the role isn't challenging, and create a narrative on your resume that you'll have to explain to future recruiters. And perhaps most insidiously, this isn't just about smaller paychecks. It affects mental well-being, long-term earning potential, and career trajectory by eroding self-confidence and your professional identity. Navigating this landscape can feel like trying to sail in a storm. But the goal isn't to wait for the storm to pass. It's about learning to sail in these conditions, to become a more skilled, strategic navigator of your own career. So what practical solutions exist in this rather tricky situation? How do you take back the helm? Let's break down a multifaceted approach, starting with a crucial mindset shift and moving into concrete, actionable tactics you can use right now. First, consider strategic compromise. This isn't about surrender. It's about smart, calculated trade-offs. A powerful tool is the Career Decision Scorecard. List your key criteria: salary, title, responsibilities, company culture, work-life balance, and learning opportunities. Then label each as non-negotiable, highly important, or flexible. This exercise forces clarity and moves you from an emotional to an objective evaluation. For example, perhaps location flexibility is worth a 5% salary reduction when you factor in saving thousands on commuting. Or maybe a role with a slightly lower title is acceptable if it comes with a significant budget for professional development and certifications. This scorecard becomes your North Star, allowing you to confidently identify the right opportunity, even if it's not the perfect one. It also empowers your negotiation. You can trade a flexible item to gain ground on a highly important one, turning a simple compromise into a strategic win. Second, use bridge positions that may not be ideal but provide stability while you continue searching. A strategic bridge job isn't just a placeholder. It should provide financial security while offering at least one other key benefit: a new in-demand skill, access to a different industry or network, or a better work-life balance that gives you the energy to keep looking. Many successful executives have stories of lateral moves that eventually led upward. Think of it as a strategic pivot, not a step back. For example, an events manager might take a project coordinator role in a more stable industry. The pay might be less, but they're learning formal project management skills and building a new network, making them a stronger candidate for a wider range of future opportunities. It's a move that pays the bills while also paving the way for future growth. Third, invest in skill development during market downturns to emerge stronger when conditions improve. This is how you proactively increase your value, regardless of the economic climate. History shows this works. After the 2008 recession, those who learned digital marketing were perfectly positioned for the e-commerce boom that followed. Today, the high-demand skills are in areas like data analytics, AI literacy, and green technology. Look at the job descriptions for the roles you want in 5 years and start learning those skills now through online courses or certifications. The goal is to become a T-shaped professional, having deep expertise in one area, complemented by a broad base of knowledge in others. This makes you more adaptable, resilient, and ultimately a more valuable asset in any market. Precisely what happened after the 2008 recession. This brings us to a crucial insight from the American economist Paul Krugman, who once said, "Productivity isn't everything, but in the long run, it's almost everything." His point is that your long-term value, your productivity in the broadest sense, is the ultimate source of your career security. Every skill you learn, every strategic move you make is an investment in your personal productivity. In a down market, external forces might dictate your salary, but yours is something you can actively build. And that is why your career is a marathon, not a sprint. This current market is just one tough hill on a long course. A bridge job is a water station to refuel. Upskilling is adjusting your form for better efficiency. The goal isn't to win the first mile at a reckless pace. The goal is to have the strength, strategy, and endurance to cross the finish line strong, ready for whatever comes next. The professional landscape we've explored is undeniably complex. It's a world of rapid shifts where the old rules of career progression no longer apply. It's natural to feel adrift, questioning your next move, or wondering if your path aligns with your true potential. You might be at a crossroads, feeling undervalued, or simply knowing you're capable of more. This isn't just a phase, it's a critical juncture that demands more than a polished resume. It requires a new perspective and a strategic plan. This is where dedicated, expert guidance becomes transformative. A great career coach isn't someone who hands you a map. They are a strategic partner who helps you build your own compass. They are a catalyst for change, helping you navigate the obstacles on your path. Joga Coaching and Consulting, led by Dr. Meera Joga, was founded on this principle. We believe every professional deserves a career that is not only successful, but deeply fulfilling. We help you cut through the noise, identify limiting beliefs, and articulate the unique value that will define your next chapter with confidence and strategic clarity. That's why we invite you to take the first empowering step. Book a complimentary career breakthrough call with us today. This is not a sales pitch. It is a dedicated, confidential session where we will dive into your specific challenges and aspirations. We'll work together to gain immediate clarity, identify the primary obstacles in your way, and map out the initial steps toward the career you desire. You will walk away from this conversation with valuable, personalized insights and a renewed sense of direction, regardless of whether you choose to continue the journey with us. Your career is a long story, not a single destination. There will be triumphs and setbacks. As you move forward, hold on to the timeless wisdom of Winston Churchill. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. This courage is the hallmark of a resilient professional. It's the courage to pivot, to ask for help, to invest in your own growth, and to pursue a path that brings you purpose. Let this be your guiding principle as you take control of your professional narrative and build a future you are excited to live.